Hello friends, today we are going to continue chapter number 16, Economic Liberalization and Globalization, lecture number 5. Friends, in this chapter, up to now, we have already completed about understanding the economic reforms of 1991. Friends, we have understood that why these economic reforms was necessary. Why our government had to make these economic reforms in the year 1991? What was the reasons behind it? Friends, as we discussed in the previous chapter as well, that each and every country aims at economic development. The ultimate goal of each and every country is economic development. We all know that in our country, at the time of independence, when we got independence, we were economically ruined. And that is why it was a challenge for our country as well as our government to increase the economy of our country speedily and in a very planning manner. Friends, when we were discussing about the changes in economy, when we are discussing about how to increase the economy of our country, we discussed that it was year 1951 when our country started the 5-year plans. Our country implemented these 5-year plans to achieve success in the rapid growth in the economy of India. But we did not achieve the growth as per it was targeted by our government. Our aim of the rapid growth in economy was not achieved even after implementing these 5-year plans. So now our government, there a need arose for the government to investigate it on the reasons of these failures of 5-year plan. After thorough investigation, our government decided to make some changes, to make some economic reforms, and due to which in the year 1991 they introduced globalization, liberalization and privatization in industrial policy, and these reforms were known as the economic reforms of 1991. Friends, we also discussed about liberalization, privatization and globalization in our previous lectures. While we were learning liberalization, we understood what is liberalization. The reduction in the restriction and controls that were imposed on the private sectors was known as liberalization. Government reduced certain restrictions and controls that were imposed on these private sectors, due to which now these private sectors were allowed to enter except 18 sectors. Except the sectors like railway, atomic, defense were opened for these private sectors. So friends, here by making these policies liberal, the ultimate goal of the country was to increase the new industrial units. Their main aim was large-scale industries. They also made lots of liberalization in the rules related to the permissions and taking license for the new establishment industries. Friends, we also discussed about privatization. That what was privatization? In privatization, all the industrial units that were under the government, that were government owned, that were either owned by the private sector or government shared some share with the private sector. That means now the door of this public sector was opened for the private sector as well. Government made this effort to increase the efficiency in public sector. Due to this, the production increased, the efficiency of this working capacity increased of the people. So through this, we can clearly see that through privatization, lots of changes came in the Indian economy. We also discussed about globalization, in which we understood that what is globalization? The connecting of economy of one country with the currency of another country is known as globalization. Through globalization, now the exchange of trading with different nations became very easy. Now, the two countries were easily able to exchange the technologies. They can easily exchange the labors. They were easily able to exchange the products from one country to another country. Due to this, our foreign currency increased. The doors of Indian import and exports were open for the foreign countries. Now, the foreign countries were eager for FDI, that is foreign direct investment. This increased our foreign currency. This increased the trade at global level, and it led India to stand at the competition with the developed country at international level. So friends, we have discussed about all these three reforms, that is liberalization, privatization and globalization. We learned about their advantages and disadvantages as well. Today, we will discuss about another important topic that we have already discussed in Standard 9. Friends, in Standard 9, we learned about the UN and its organs, in which when we were learning Economic and Social Council, which is an important organ of UN, we discussed that it is having a branch which is working under UN, that is WTO, that is World Trade Organization, that takes care of the trading that is going on at international level. Trading between two nations, the responsibility of trading between two nations is taken care by WTO, World Trade Organization. So friends, today let us understand about WTO, World Trade Organization. World Trade Organization, WTO. Friends, let us understand about what is WTO, why it was set up, and what was the objectives of this WTO behind establishing at international level. If we talk about WTO, here it is said that World Trade Organization is, if we talk about World Trade Organization, is a global international organization. It is World Trade Organization is a global international organization that deals with the rules. It is the organization that deals with the rules of trade between nations. So friends, first of all, let us understand what is WTO. What WTO, the full form of WTO is World Trade Organization. World Trade Organization. Here, from the name itself, you can understand World Trade Organization. Meaning it is an organization that is doing trading at the world level. It is taking care of the trading between the nations. World Trade Organization is a global international organization. It is a global international organization that is dealing with the rules of trade between nations. Between two nations, whatever rules are formed to do trading between the nations, that all rules are framed and followed by this WTO, by World Trade Organization. All the rules are taken care that whether that rules are followed for trading between the nations are fulfilled or not. That is taken care by WTO. If we talk about WTO, here it is said World Trade Organization was established. World Trade Organization was established on 1st January 1955. It was 1995. World Trade Organization was established on 1st January 1995 by the member nations of UN. By whom this was established? World Trade Organization that was established on 1st January 1995 by the member nations of UN. We have already learned in our previous standards that UN was an international organization that was established after the Second World War by the efforts of the member nations of UN just to establish international peace and security among the different worlds, to solve the disputes among the different worlds. So, World Trade Organization was working under UN. World Trade Organization was established on 1st January 1995 by the member nations of UN. It was established by the member nation of UN. Its headquarters is located at Geneva in Switzerland. Now, when we talk about its headquarters, it is said that its headquarters is located at Geneva in Switzerland. Means the headquarters of WTO is located at Geneva in Switzerland. Now, friends, let us understand about the objectives of WTO. Friends, you might have understood about the basic information about WTO. What is WTO? WTO is an international organization that deals with the rules for trading between the nations. WTO, World Trade Organization, was established on 1st January 1995 by the member station of UN, and its headquarters is located at Geneva in Switzerland. So this is the basic information of WTO. Let us understand about the objectives of WTO. Why this WTO was established? Let us understand about the objectives. Friends, let us understand about objectives of WTO, that is World Trade Organization. That for what objective this WTO was established. The first objective of WTO is to remove obstacles that hinders global trade. Here it is said to remove obstacle that hinders the global trade. The first objective of establishing this WTO was to remove the obstacles, means the problems, to remove all the problems that is hindering the global trade. Whatever problem the countries are facing to do trading with each other, their problem is solved by WTO. For example, if India wants to do any kind of trading with Australia, but if they are facing any kind of problem related to this trading between India and Australia, then WTO can be mediator between both of them and they can solve the problem that is coming in the path of this global trade between India and Australia. So friends, here the objective of WTO was to remove obstacles, means problems that hinders the global trade, we can say. Then to remove protection policy that was given, to remove protection policy that was given to industries of country, that was given to industries of country for foreign trade. Friends, here it is said, also WTO's objective was to remove this protection policy, was given to remove the protection policy that was given to industries of the country for foreign trade. Previously, the country, those who want to do any kind of trading, they had to give some protection policy was there. They have to invest some protection money so that it makes the trading secure. So by coming of WTO, now this protection policy was removed so that they can invest their capital in the best manner as they want. So to remove the protection policy that was given to the industries of country for foreign trading, to coordinate with global trade policy, to coordinate with global trade policy and economic policy. Economic policy. Friends, here it is said to coordinate with global trade policy and economic policy. Another objective of WTO was this WTO works to make coordination with the global trading policy as well as the economic policy. Whatever policy the different nations have made to increase their economy as well as whatever policies they had made to do trading with other country, to make the relation, to coordinate both the things properly, that is the trading policy as well as the economic policy of both the countries, to coordinate both the things properly, WTO plays a very important role so that the coordination between both the countries increases and they can do the trading very properly. So another very important objective then to solve the trade related disputes among the nations. Then another objective was to solve the trade related disputes. Whatever trade related problems overcomes, that is solved by WTO. If any countries are doing trading with each other and if they are facing any kind of that disputes of trading are solved by WTO. So these were the objectives of WTO. So friends, you might have understood the objective of WTO. Let us understand how this WTO functions, the functions of WTO. Friends, let us understand the functions of WTO. Now, understanding about the functions of WTO. To set up for the structure of implementing, to set up the structure for implementing world trade and trade agreements. Friends, here it is said, functioning is to set up the structure of implementing world trade and trade agreement and observing these agreement and observing all these agreements. Whatever agreement is made between two nations for trading, that is observed by this WTO, that whether these agreements are followed properly or not. All the trade related agreements are taken care by the WTO. Then WTO, if we are talking about WTO, works as a platform for debates. WTO works as a platform for debates and negotiation related to global trade. If any country wants to make any kind of negotiation with the other nation that is doing trade with them, then WTO is working as a platform to do this kind of trading. That means WTO works as a platform for doing debates and any kind of negotiation that is related to this global trade. So it is working as a platform. Then WTO encourages unbiased global trade. Friends, here it is said, WTO always encourages unbiased global trade. So friends, here another functioning of this WTO is to work in an unbiased manner. Have any kind of biased attitude against any nation. It works as an organization for the benefit of each and every nation. That means WTO encourages unbiased global trade. It works as an unbiased global trade. It is not biased with any country. Then different nations follow their own, different nations follow their own foreign national policies for trade. Different nations follow their own foreign national policies for trading. Then the WTO observes them. WTO observes them means these policies observe them and suggests necessary improvements to those nations. Friends, here different nations follow their own foreign policy. Each and every country is having their own foreign trade policy to do trading with other countries. WTO looks and observes that foreign policies, that how which kind of foreign policy is there of India with other countries or America with other countries. They take care, they observe all these, and by observing their foreign policy, whatever suggestions are required, WTO also suggests this type of policy. So friends, you might have understood about WTO, its objectives and its functions today. We learned about the another topic, that is sustainable development, in our next lecture. Thank you.